Have you ever felt that life keeps turning against you again and again, even though you are doing your best? You work hard. You endure. You keep going. Yet what you receive in return is exhaustion, uncertainty, and the quiet fear of what tomorrow might bring. If this feeling sounds familiar, stay with this story until the end. It will not promise you a miracle, but it may change the way you see your life forever. In a small, quiet village, where days passed slowly and people relied on the strength of their hands, lived a young woman in silence. Her life was simple but far from easy. There was never enough money, and the future always felt uncertain. Not because she was careless, not because she lacked effort, but because life had never been gentle with her. Someone she loved had left the village to search for work. Far away, days turned into weeks, weeks into months. No letters, no money, no word. Her children grew thinner, and her heart grew heavier. At night, she lay awake, listening to her thoughts whisper, "Something bad will happen. There is no hope left." She was not only hungry for food, she was hungry for faith. One evening, exhausted and overwhelmed, she wandered to the edge of the village and stopped before a small house beneath an old tree. An elderly woman lived there. She owned nothing of value, no wealth, no status, yet in her eyes there was a calm that the young woman had not felt in a long time. She sat down and spoke through tears, pouring out her fears, her doubts, her quiet despair. She waited for advice, or perhaps a miracle. The old woman listened carefully, then said softly, "I cannot change your circumstances, but I can help you change the way you see them." The words lingered. How could changing thoughts help when reality remained so harsh? The old woman smiled and began to tell a story. Long ago, a poor man sat by a river, weeping. He had no food, no money, no family. He believed he had nothing at all. A stranger passed by and said, "You have the river. You have the sunlight. You have trees and air and life around you. If you focus only on what you lack, your suffering will never end. But if you notice what remains, you may find peace." The man fell silent. For the first time, he looked around him. Nothing magical happened. No one rescued him. Yet his life began to change, not because the world changed, but because his thinking did. He stopped seeing himself as a victim. The old woman looked gently at the young woman and said, "Life does not change because of miracles. It changes when we change our way of thinking. When your thoughts soften, your heart becomes lighter, and only then are you strong enough to move forward." The young woman remained quiet for a long moment. Then she nodded. From that day on, each morning she whispered to herself, "Today will be a good day." Her life did not suddenly become easy. She still worked hard, still struggled, but fear no longer controlled her. And in time, good news arrived, not because hope appeared first, but because she changed before hope returned. This story does not say that positive thinking removes pain. It reminds us of something deeper. Life does not change because of miracles. It changes when we change our mindset. If you are facing a difficult season, perhaps you do not need something extraordinary. Perhaps you only need a different way of seeing what is already there. If this story helped you slow down for a moment, share it with someone you care about. It might be exactly what they need to hear right now. And if you'd like to continue listening to healing and inspiring stories like this, don't forget to follow the channel so we can meet again.